Welcome to How to Run Profitable Retreats podcast, the podcast that guides you not to only host retreats that thrive financially, but also transform people's lives. I'm your host, Leni Cavazos, and each week I bring you the best strategies and personal insights to help you create retreat experiences that transform lives, both your clients and your own. In our journey together, we'll dive into the secrets behind successful retreats, from crafting a unique atmosphere to mastering the logistics that ensure profitability. Whether you're tuning in for inspiring interviews with leading retreat experts or seeking actionable advice in our solo episodes, this podcast is your go-to resource for turning your retreat visions into reality. Don't miss out on any of our episodes and subscribe now. For more tools and a free guide on creating your own six-figure retreat business, visit theretreatplanner.com. Now let's get started and make your retreat dreams come true. Hello, welcome back to our podcast on running profitable retreats. And today I'm so excited because I have Rian, and she's a holistic health and wellness coach, yoga teacher, massage therapist, and spiritual guide. She's passionate about guiding people towards their own unique healing abilities by tapping into their inner wisdom and self-love. She specializes in leading transformational women's retreat and offers private and group coaching. So I'm so excited to have her here today because her retreats are absolutely amazing. And she utilizes the ancient technologies of Kundalini yoga, various styles of movement practices, feminine form Ayurveda, massage therapy, energy and sound healing, and the power of whole food nutrition. So important. So this allows Rian to be and guide you towards self-care and self-love so you can live your life with more purpose, passion, and pleasure. So thank you so much for being with us today. I'm so excited for this conversation to happen.
Thank you, Leni. It's a pleasure to be here. And I'm just like, wow, listening to you read off all of these skills of mine and how I can help guide people into personal transformation and self-love. It fills me up with joy to just see how far I've come and how I've added all of these things to my toolbox so that I can share with others and create that very important ripple effect for health and wellness and to raise up our society, our collective, to be better and to have better habits and to take care of ourselves first.
I love this. And I know you're just coming back from hosting 2 retreats in Greece. So I can't wait to hear all about it and all the things that you learned. And I know you have so many amazing retreats throughout the year. And it's something that I know so many people in our audience are looking forward because they really don't want to just host a retreat. They want to create a retreat business.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I am just coming back from a month overseas in Greece and it really was amazing. And I learned so much. I had 2 different back-to-back retreats with a small break in between. And there is so much that goes into planning a retreat and organizing and taking care of all of these needs of people and scheduling that you don't even think of. And so it's just so important to do it. So this is my message to anyone who's thinking about starting a retreat business, like go for it and just do it because you're going to learn so much by immersing yourself in it. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. And this was 14 months planning. So not all my retreats are 14 months, but this one was because I've never been to Greece before. I really wanted to make it special and I wanted to give people time to have a payment plan. So that was important for me to make sure that it was accessible for my target audience. So I learned so much and 16 was a large group to hold space for. And then I had about 3 days downtime. And then the next group was 6 women plus myself, which was 7. So it was so nice to have that big, large group of energy and excitement, and then to transition into this smaller, intimate experience with a smaller group of women. So I really encourage you to really think about what you want to cultivate, how many people you want to serve, what is in your capacity, right? Because we may think we can do it all and like serve large groups, but are you filling up your own cup and your own vessel so that you can show up as your best self and serve, right?
Yes, this is so powerful. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. It's just absolutely amazing because I give private sessions to so many people who want to do retreats, and they start with these large numbers. Everyone is like, oh, I want to do it for 30 people. I had someone once told me they wanted to do it for 500. And I'm like, are you able to hold space for this amount of people? And it doesn't mean that you can't do it, because,
Mm-mm.
you could build your own website. You could do the whole sales process. You can book all the transportations. You can book a house and then have to find
Yes.
a chef. Da, da, da. It doesn't mean you
Yes.
can't, but is it in
No.
your best interest?
That's right. Yeah. What is in your wheelhouse? What is in your expertise? What can you do and what can't you do? Because, when I first hosted my first retreat back in 2020, I thought I could do it all. And then where did I find myself afterwards? Completely depleted. And I got really super sick, I think energetically, because I was like, I'll host morning practice. I'll host afternoon workshops. I'll host evening healing circles, and I'll do massage.
You went all in.
I was all in, right? Because I was like, oh, I could do this. I could do this. I could do this. Yes, I can. But is it in the best interest for myself and for my participants? Like, was I showing up as my best self? And it was my first time, and I loved everything about it, but it taught me on what I can change and pivot and do differently. And that is, okay, let me check in with my friends, my local, like the experts that live there, people in my community that I can outsource to, so I can also have some downtime and make this retreat a beautiful experience for people, but something that I can also enjoy, that wasn't going to burn me out and wasn't going to keep me in like go mode. I wanted to show up in a calm, regulated way for my clients, instead of like, what's next? Beating the clock. Do we have downtime? Because you are running when you're in a retreat. So like creating space of nothingness is so important.
Oh, yes. I love this. The other day I was having a conversation with a woman. She was hosted a yoga training, a yoga retreat in Costa Rica. And she said that her chef bailed 1 week before. So she ended up cooking for the retreat, right? So she was like, okay,
Yeah.
I have no chef. People are coming. I
It's
need
okay.
to
I
make
got
this
this.
happen. I got it. And then, she made the best out of it and
Of
everything. But she
course.
said that she was either teaching or cooking. She was
Yeah.
never really spending time with the group. And she was like,
Yes.
I fixed it. But was it
Yes.
really what I
Yeah.
needed?
Totally. I love hearing that too, and that self-reflection piece afterwards. And those were some of my most important moments, was not only facilitating the group, I also called in from my hosts in Greece who were incredible. And I made such incredible friendships with the people that I stayed with at the Airbnb. They became like my soul family, and we connected on such an incredible level. And that was a gift that I wasn't expecting to receive out of the retreat as well. But my point is that they facilitated a couple of the workshops for me, because that's their expert of area of expertise. Nicholas talked about the 4 temperaments of Greek medicine and how it relates to health in modern day. And Kinga did this beautiful voice activation, moving through the elements of earth, water, fire, air, where we got to sing and dance. And I got to participate, and I got to open up and share with my retreat guests. And it was so powerful, so moving, tears, opening, cleansing, connection. So it allowed me to be on the same level as my retreat participants, which I really focus on. Like, don't put me up on a pedestal. Please do not. Like, I am just like you. I am learning. I am growing. I am going through my own personal journey of health and wellness and transformation. This is what has worked for me. Let me share what I know with you, but let's all continue to learn and grow together. And so that was amazing for me to experience some of the healing in the retreat that I was also hosting and facilitating.
Yes, if I can say something out of this, it is all about allowing yourself to also receive.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
it. You don't want to burn out. I always tell people, look, if you are going to extend yourself beyond where you could go, and then you're going to hate your first retreat experience or second or third, what's going to happen is you're going to be thinking, oh my gosh, I never want to host a retreat again. It was so much work. I did not get
Yeah.
paid enough for it. It was
Yes.
so much time.
Yes. I mean, because like, you know, you're packaging your retreat and you're thinking it's a great price point, but then you just don't realize like there's so much work leading up to it. As you know, Leni, right? I know you've helped so many people develop their own retreat business, and there is so much that goes into it in the back end. And then when you're there, you're almost the entire time, right? You are responsible for this group of people. You want to make sure that you give them value and that you are delivering the outcomes that you marketed. And then you want to make sure that the money that you made is sitting well with you, right? For all of the time that you have invested, and you don't feel like you've shorted yourself. And you feel good about the amount of money that you charged. Now, here is a big thing that I learned with doing this international retreat. I guess it was different because my vendors wanted me to pay everything in cash. So we are talking about not doing a wire transfer, right? I did a wire transfer for deposits, but like showing up with thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in cash, in euro. And it was very difficult for me to change my US dollars for euros. So everybody was like, go to the ATM, go to the ATM. I went to the bank. You don't have an account here. You can't do it from the bank. And then there's like 11% fees. Plus the conversion rate. So that is something that I was not prepared for, that I did not factor into my beautiful magical spreadsheet that I have that shows me all of my numbers and my bottom line and how much revenue I'm going to make and how much each client's cost is, you know? So that was like, wow, what a learning lesson. I need to add on 11% for the exchange rate and to turn this money into cash so I can pay my vendors. So that's definitely something for all you listeners out there to talk with your vendors, your retreat hosts, whoever you're paying on the other end. Are you doing a wire transfer? Because there's fees involved in wire transfers. Do you have to pay them in cash? There's fees at ATMs. So you really have to factor that stuff in.
Yes, this is such a great tip, because we always forget about this. And sometimes, like, you know, you are selling a retreat and you are using, let's say, a credit card provider, right? I use Stripe, for
Me
example, for my clients. I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. But I do pay
Yes.
a commission on it. And if I don't put
Totally.
it into consideration,
Yes.
then what happens?
I add in the percentage fee for the monthly fee. So like, let's say it's $150 payment plan or a $250 payment plan. I bump it up to include the 2.9% and the 30-cent transaction fee. You know, I might even add a little bit more because now I'm extending you a payment plan, but still, like, you have to add in that line item on your spreadsheet for the conversion rate going from euro to dollar or dollar to euro or to pesos, you know, or whatever it's going to be. Like, that part I did not take into consideration. And I'm surprised that like some of my mentors didn't remind me of that, you know? So
Yeah.
it's okay. We got to learn this stuff.
Yeah. Now it's very clear, you know, like, also, like, so many people want cash because they don't want to be paying taxes on it, right? So this is the main reason. So it is good for them, and for, you know, there is this way that it can help out everyone, because if you're paying taxes in another country, then this doesn't really help you anyway in your own taxes in your country.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if it's costing you more, then you need to figure it out that this is taken into consideration. And I love that you have a spreadsheet.
Yes.
I have a spreadsheet for like all my clients that I provide. It's like this beautiful calculator where you put everything in and you tell it how much it's your aligned fee. And then
it's golden.
It does everything for you, right?
Yeah, it's magic. It's golden. Like, before I had the spreadsheet, I was I'm not going to say so unorganized, but like, I was trying to keep track of it on my own. But to be able to have the spreadsheet that is automated and you can see your numbers, like, oh, here's what I'd have if I'd have 8 people, but 8 people are paying different prices. Are they in a single? Are they in a double? Are they in the VIP room? So like, you are going to need to play with that to see what your numbers would be and what tickets you're selling, you know? And I think it's so important to, whatever you think it should be, add more.
I love this. I love it. Add more.
I know that a lot of people feel bad about charging like top dollar or higher price tickets for retreats, and people think about their own financial situation, or they think about like they feel bad about charging, too much. And I've been there, right? I had to do a lot of work around my own money stories and my own relationships with money. But really what it comes down to is you are providing such a service, and you can't put a price on transformation. You
Right.
cannot. When my clients tell me your retreat changed my life, your retreat started me on my transformational journey, this was the best vacation and learning experience I've ever had, you can't put a price on that. And one of my clients even was like, this was already paid for. So I feel like I have all of this money to just continue to spend while I'm here on like souvenirs and add-ons and upgrades. And like people have money to spend on themselves, and you can't put a value on transformation, so charge what you think you should charge and then add 10%.
Yes.
Or 20%.
Yeah, I have to say to the audience here, I always add also like a 10% for surprise expenses, right? So you
Yeah.
have this like buffer. So if
Mhm.
suddenly you find this activity that's absolutely amazing that you didn't budget for, you have the money to do it and it's not coming out of
Yes.
pocket. Right?
Yes. And it's not going to hurt your bank, right? Like we should be profiting 30 grand, in my opinion, like on a retreat, 40 grand. Like this Greece retreat I was able to profit around 30 grand. And that is amazing to me.
Yes.
Like, I think this is fantastic. And I have no guilt. I have no shame about making this amount of money on hosting a 7-day retreat in Greece for 16 women, and then the next retreat, I think it was like around 15 because it was like half the amount of participants. And I worked my butt off. I enjoyed it. But it's a lot of work. And so to know that I'm getting paid for my time and my expertise and all of the money that I have spent on trainings, mentors, coaches, learning about health coaching and how to help people, like that goes into the value that I provide, because I continue to be a lifelong learner. I continue to invest in myself. Therefore, I can help others in a greater capacity. And I believe that I should be compensated, and you should be compensated, and we all should be compensated the way that we need to be in order to feel good and fill us up with serving,
Yeah, I love everything that you're saying. For me, I tell people they're supposed to be making 30,000 for the retreat. Like,
good.
for me, this is
Yes.
the ballpark. This is like the basic number. And everyone, I've met people who are making $800, and I'm like, well, you're probably in the wrong business, or there's something you need to fix, because it's not possible. Because think about this. You worked for 14 months.
That's right.
14 months to make 45K. If you really split it, and I'm like very curious to do the numbers right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's less than minimum wage. If you think about it, it's just one retreat, So now if I'm able to do that 2, 3, 4 times a year, well, then now I'm talking about really making a really good income, but I also I'm also able to like add on for my clients and help them with like my coaching, right? And my wellness club. So I think that you also need to diversify and not just put all of your eggs in one basket. You need to have your top dollar ticket, and you need to have like your smaller pricing options so you can help people in other ways,
I love everything that you're saying, because I just did the numbers, and it's like $3,000 a month. It's not that much, right? For 14
live
months
on that.
work.
I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I have kids, right? I have some debt that I'm paying off. So it's like, I can't live on $3,000 a month, my goal that I'm still working towards and I'm very close to is like having 10K months. Like that's my starting point, and then from there, it's going to be to 20K months. And this is possible, but it all starts in our mind and in our energetic field, because if we are living in lack and scarcity mentality, well, we know that like attracts like. So if we are living out of fear and scarcity and I can't, well, we're going to attract fear and scarcity and I can't. So it's recognizing like when these bullshit stories are coming up in your mind and coaching yourself through and remembering how valuable we are and how much we have to share and to give.
I love this. This is so powerful. It's you're speaking my language, right? That's the only thing I can say. You're
I
definitely
love
speaking
it.
my language. And
Good.
you're saying every single thing that I know this audience needs to listen to. And I have seen like over planning, I think like over 100 retreats for like different clients. I can tell you that it's like a 1% that are actually selling something after the retreat. They just
Hmm.
take them to the retreat and it's like amazing. But then later on,
Yeah.
what happens? They just show up again when they have another retreat
Yeah.
to sell. And then
Yes.
you lose momentum.
You do, you do. It's so important to continue to serve when you're not at a retreat, right? They just had this awesome experience with you and they just got to be in your energy and you're increasing that know, like, and trust factor. So now how can you continue to show up and serve your clients, even in the smallest of ways? You know, if it's like a cleanse, a seasonal detox. I have a wellness club that I enroll my clients into. So whenever you come to a wellness retreat, you automatically get into my wellness club and it's a year-long program. But if you for a retreat, you're just gonna have a little bit of taste of it, right? So then I can
Mm.
upgrade and add on from there. So like come into my wellness club and we learn about the 10 habits to help you thrive in body, life, and business and help you move into better, healthier habits that we all need support on. Like these are easy things that we know, yet they're so hard for us to achieve and to implement. But when we're in that group dynamic, you know how powerful that is. And when you're starting to learn with your peers and you have that support and that container of safety, it just pushes you to meet your goals and hold yourself accountable. So yeah, I think it's just so important after the retreat to have ongoing support for your retreat participants. And for me, that's my Reclaim Your Wellness Club. And we meet on a weekly basis via Zoom. I have handouts. I guide them through meditation. I have a whole course end in the back and I have videos. And so if you can't make it live, you can catch the recording. And, you know, we have a Facebook group that we all communicate. And that's the key, right? Like communication and community. That's what we're going for here.
I love this. It's so powerful. And to be honest, I know you're planning a lot of retreats throughout the year, and this is kind of like your goal, and you're making it happen. So it's absolutely amazing
Thank
to,
you.
and for everyone who's listening to see that it's possible.
It's
But
possible.
it is.
It is. It's possible. And to let you know that, like, I still have self-doubt. Like, that doesn't go away. It's how you handle and respond to it, you know? And the more you do it, the less it happens. You know, when I first started, I was so scared and so fearful. And can I make this work? And I sold my massage and wellness clinic where I was making a decent income and I had employees underneath me and it was a brick and mortar and it wasn't serving me anymore. And it was COVID. And I was like, okay, it's time to pivot. It's this next chapter. Can I do this? Can I do this? And being confident in my abilities because I've started businesses before, but then realizing, oh shit, this is a lot harder than it was when I was in my 20s, when I was in my 30s, and like now I'm in my 40s, right? So I really had to dig deep and say, what skills am I missing? What do I need to brush myself up on so I can follow my dreams and make this happen? And part of it was my own negative self-talk and my own value and worthiness. So, you know, reprogramming my subconscious brain was part of me stepping into this new me and this new version of me to show up as I want to, right? And how I need to in order to feel confident that I can share my knowledge and my wisdom with other people, you know?
Yeah, I think this is so powerful. And, I don't know if you've seen this, but I've like interviewed a bunch of people. And I was having a conversation the other day with someone who's like wanted to do a retreat. And she was like, I just wanted to make it so affordable that they won't be able to say no. And I was just
Mm.
like, that doesn't really make your retreat fill up.
No, because like who's your target market then, right? And really getting clear and specific with like what are the problems you're solving? Who is your target audience and what sets you apart from other people? People will afford whatever they want no matter how much it costs. If it is important to them and they want it, they're going to find a way even if they have no money,
Oh
right?
my gosh. Yes. I can tell a story that is very not related to
Please,
retreats, but works perfectly for this. So I
please
used to
do.
live in Dubai. It was a building, a very normal building, but it had some studios and one bedroom apartments and two bedroom apartments. And there were families who were like 5 people, living inside the studio, but they would have a Range Rover, right? Their priority was to have this fancy car, to show up to the meetings, the fancy Rolex, but they
Yeah.
didn't really care about being squeezed into a tiny, tiny, tiny apartment because it was not their priority. But their
Yeah.
priorities, they made it happen, even if they were
Totally.
in a low income. So
Yes.
this is
Yes.
exactly how it works.
Yeah, it's so true. And like, so if you think that you have to make it cheap so people can afford it, well, then that's the story that you're going with, and that's the people that you're going to attract, you know? And is it important to them? How are they going to value it? So like, this is another thing that we've seen in sales. And I think we've talked about this before. When you offer stuff for free, people don't value it as much as if they pay for it. So if you're offering a retreat that's cheap, are they going to value it as much as if you were to offer it for a couple grand, you know?
Yes, totally. And I also, for example, sometimes people are like, hey, can you create a program that is more affordable for, like this kind of certain of type of people? And I said, look, the difference for me, if I charge $1 for a course and I give live sessions and I charge $10,000, is that the people who paid one are going to demand more of me than the person who paid 10. So then
Yeah.
I will work more for a
Yes.
lot less money. Is this in my
Yeah.
highest interest? I'm like, you want something? Yes, I'll create a private, pre-recorded program that has
Yes.
absolutely every step that you need. So your
Yes.
retreat center, for example, in this case, can offer this training for the people who are hiring the retreat center. So you don't have to do all these consultations of like, how much do I charge for my retreat, right? How much do I
Yeah.
do this? Because retreat leaders, they come and they ask this. So how much are other
Yeah.
people charging for the retreats when they come to your retreat space? That's not really the responsibility of the retreat center. So if you create these like pre-made program that you can give for free or even sell,
Yeah.
then what happens? The customer service number of hours that you have to invest just drops dramatically, and it can be
Yeah.
tailored to the retreat center. So you can talk about like, why, for example, why would you go to this exact place in the world? Is it like an energetic vortex? What are the main traits of the place?
Yeah.
Is there a beautiful cute town outside that you recommend that they go out? So you give them everything they know but
Yeah.
pre-recorded, and then if they use
Yes.
it, amazing. If they don't,
Yes.
they don't. But
Yeah.
giving your time for like private calls to a retreat leader that wants to come to a retreat center, it won't match.
Yeah.
And honestly, majority of people, they're salespeople, they don't know how to coach or do consulting when it comes to
Mm.
retreat planning
Yeah,
inside the retreat center.
it's so different, you know, it really is. And there's just so many things that you have to consider when you're planning it, you know, and you really need to come down to like your why, right? And you really need to be clear about your audience and who you want to be there, right? Who are you attracting, and what is the transformation or the promise that you are providing for people, you know? um yeah, there's so much into it. I love hosting retreats. I love being in the retreat itself, and like I said, I loved also being able to receive while I was there. So I think that that's also like a special missing component. So if you are a retreat leader and find yourself like running around during your retreats and like acting like a chicken with your head cut off, is this the best way for you to show up and serve? And
Oh no.
can you find some room and some space to also participate in your own retreat? How amazing is that, right? Like bring in some other people and some other experts so you can also fill yourself up. And so I did that on both of my retreats. The first one, I had an incredible yoga teacher, Lissa Lenz, with Yoga Bliss. She teaches at Yoga Bliss, but Lissa Lenz Yoga came all the way from Colorado to help me teach 3 yoga classes. She was like, what?
Wow.
Come to Greece and teach yoga? Yes. You know, she only taught 3 yoga classes, but those 3 yoga classes gave me downtime and let me take yoga. You know, like I start off my retreats with starting and developing a spiritual practice and a morning practice. So I dive into connecting with yourself, connecting with the divine, listening, tuning in. Then we move into like setting intentions and sankalpa, and moving into meditation, chanting, a little bit of movement, asana, and then like deep relaxation. And then after that, it's like a devotional practice, right? And then after that, then we move into the morning traditional asana practices, and then we have breakfast, and then we have some downtime for you to do what you want, and then we have an afternoon workshop, and then we have lunch, and then we have some downtime, and then usually something in the evening, whether it's like yoga nidra or cacao or sound healing or ecstatic dance or silent disco. And those are the things that I like to turn off and bring other people in so I can also experience and partake. So I would highly recommend, if you're not taking some of your own offerings at a retreat, start doing it, you know, start bringing in people so you can also fill your cup up while you're on a retreat and working, you know. And then the second retreat was a little bit different. Like I said, we had 7 of us total. And I had another yoga friend who's also a social worker who did stuff with internal family systems and pieces and parts work and EMDR. And we did more Kundalini based yoga in that retreat. And we were there during the Orthodox Easter. So we were able to experience and partake in these incredible rituals that blew our minds, that nobody had anticipated. That was like, this is so special that we also get to be here for this. So yeah, it was amazing. And I always learn something from every retreat. My next retreat is going to be in Peru. And this is the first time that I'm doing a co-ed retreat. So I'm really excited for that. And this one is like 5 days of wellness in the Sacred Valley of Peru, where again, it's like this morning spiritual practice, devotion, moving into yoga, healthy foods, exploring the lands and the chakra gardens and healing circles. And then after the 5 days, we go on an adventure tour to Machu Picchu. So we're doing biking and zip lining and rafting and hiking and ending up in Aguas Calientes, where we then hike to Machu Picchu. So I'm so excited for that. I have 11 people and I'm going to cap it at 14. So I have a few spots left. If there's any listeners out there and you want to come with your partner, your friend, your mom, your kid, reach out and let's get in touch. I'd love to tell you all about it and see if this is the right fit for you.
This is absolutely amazing. Like, really, you're speaking to my soul. I absolutely love it. I like, really, if I can, cap a couple of things, it's just like, really, for everyone who's listening, it all comes from the heart. You really need to find your why. And if you are having some struggling with the money issues, go figure them out, because you are supposed to be charging for everything that you've learned. Like, really remember the value of everything that you have really invested into being able to hold space for all these amazing people that want to transform their lives into something completely different.
Yes.
So and you can do it.
You can do it. And like, have you ever sat down and written down all the amount of money that you've spent on coaches and programs and trainings? Like, when I did that, I was like, holy shit, how charging this price? Look how much money I've spent on investing in myself, which is essential. I think everybody needs to spend money on investing in themselves, because that's going to help you increase your skill set, your people set, your tool set, so you can show up and serve and create safe spaces. So yeah, I love what you said, Leni, like, figure out your stories around money and get it right for yourself, because you are worthy, you are valuable, and you have things to share. So do it.
Oh my God, amazing. This is absolutely great. I love everything that you shared. So everyone who's listening, I hope you went through the whole episode, because it's so powerful. And you get to learn from Rian here. And if someone wants to find out about your retreats, where can they find you?
Thank you for asking that important question. So you can find me on Facebook or on Instagram or on my website. My website is soulfullwellnessretreats.com, but it's soulfull, F-U-L-L. So soulfullwellnessretreats.com, or my Instagram handle is Soulfull Wellness Colorado. So check me out on there, or Facebook as well, Soulfull Wellness Colorado. And you can reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook, or simply check me out on my email. And I love to sit down and chat with people and hear why you're craving a retreat or where you need support and how I can help you move into personal development, transformation, and get you on the path to health and wellness. You know, we all feel stuck at some points in our life, and knowing that change is inevitable and there is support around you, and you are your best teacher and your best healer.
Amazing. So we're going to put in the descriptions all the links so you can go and
Cool.
find Rian and, you know, learn a little bit more about her and all the things that she offers. And just like the last note is just for me to say to every retreat leader or someone who's intending to do this, you also need to go to retreats yourself. It's very important for your self-growth. So if you're
Yes.
hosting retreats, but you don't go to any retreats yourself, you are missing out on the most amazing opportunity of your life. That's how I'm ending. That's it.
I love it. Yes, it's so true. Thank you so much, Leni. It is always a pleasure to talk to you. We speak the same language, sister. So thank you.
Thank you so much for your time today, and goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Wow, what a great episode. If you like our podcast, How to Run Profitable Retreats, leave us a review and share it with a friend.